For years, China has sought dominance in Asia, building its military, expanding its economy, and projecting power across the Pacific. But standing in its way is a smaller nation that few expected would become a major obstacle: the Philippines. Despite its size, the Philippines has emerged as one of China's biggest challenges. From territorial disputes to military alliances and shifting global strategies, the Philippines has become a thorn in China's side and a nightmare for its ambitions. Geography and strategic location. The Philippines sits at the heart of Southeast Asia. It is an archipelago of more than 7,000 islands, located between the South China Sea and the Pacific Ocean. This location makes it a gateway for trade, a crucial transit point for military forces, and a frontline state in the rivalry between China and the United States. For China, the South China Sea is vital. It is home to major shipping routes, natural resources, and military significance. Controlling this sea gives China dominance over Asia, but the Philippines occupies a key position in these waters, directly blocking China's ability to fully control the region. South China Sea. Disputes. China claims almost the entire South China Sea under its so-called nine-dash line. This claim overlaps with the Philippines' own exclusive economic zone, particularly in areas like the Spratly Islands and Scarborough Shoal. In 2016, the Philippines took China to international arbitration under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. The tribunal ruled in favor of the Philippines, declaring China's claims invalid. Although China rejected the ruling, the decision was a huge diplomatic blow. It showed the world that international law supported the Philippines. This legal victory gave Manila moral and political leverage. It turned the Philippines into the face of resistance against China's maritime expansion, inspiring other Southeast Asian nations to push back. The U.S.-Philippines alliance. One of the main reasons the Philippines is China's nightmare is its long-standing alliance with the United States. The Mutual Defense Treaty, signed in 1951, commits both nations to defend each other if attacked. This alliance gives the U.S. access to Philippine bases and waters, providing Washington with a strategic foothold close to China. For Beijing, this is alarming. It means that any conflict in the South China Sea could quickly involve U.S. forces stationed in the Philippines. Recent agreements, like the Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, allow U.S. troops to rotate through Philippine bases, pre-position equipment, and expand their presence. This effectively places American military power right at China's doorstep. Modernization of the Philippine military. For decades, the Philippine military was seen as weak compared to its neighbors. But in recent years, Manila has invested heavily in modernization. It has acquired advanced fighter jets, warships, and coastal defense systems. It is building up its Navy and Air Force to better patrol its waters and protect its sovereignty. The Philippines has also expanded joint exercises with the U.S., Japan, and Australia, improving its readiness and interoperability. This growing military capability may not match China's size, but it strengthens deterrence and complicates Beijing's plans. Strengthening regional partnerships. The Philippines is no longer standing alone. It has cultivated strong partnerships with other regional powers that also feel threatened by China. Japan provides the Philippines with maritime patrol vessels, radars, and Coast Guard support. Australia conducts joint military drills and training. India has engaged in defense dialogues and potential arms deals. Even Vietnam, another South China Sea claimant, has found common ground with the Philippines in resisting Chinese expansion. This growing network of partnerships adds pressure on China. Every move Beijing makes in the South China Sea risks triggering a united response from multiple countries. The role of public opinion. Filipinos have become increasingly aware of China's activities in their waters. Fishermen have reported harassment by Chinese vessels, while surveillance shows militarization of disputed islands. This has fueled strong nationalist sentiment within the Philippines. Public opinion polls show widespread distrust of China and strong support for alliances that counter Beijing. This domestic pressure forces Philippine leaders to take a tougher stance, making it difficult for China to win influence through soft power. Economic Balancing Act. China is one of the Philippines' largest trading partners, but economic ties have not prevented political tensions. While Chinese investments flow into infrastructure projects, Filipinos remain cautious. Concerns about debt dependence, loss of sovereignty, and unfair business practices limit Beijing's influence. At the same time, the Philippines has diversified its economic relationships. The United States, Japan, and the European Union remain major trading partners. This diversification reduces China's leverage and ensures that Manila cannot be easily pressured through economics. Information and cyber challenges. China has attempted to extend its influence through media, cyber operations, and disinformation campaigns. But the Philippines has pushed back with legislation, fact-checking initiatives, and cooperation with allies to secure digital infrastructure. This resistance makes it harder for China to shape narratives or gain political influence within the Philippines. The more China tries to interfere, the more Filipinos view Beijing with suspicion. The Taiwan factor. The Philippines' location also makes it central in the Taiwan question. If China were to attempt military action against Taiwan, U.S. forces would likely rely on access to Philippine bases. This scenario turns the Philippines into a critical piece in the balance of power across the Taiwan Strait. For China, it is a nightmare scenario. The Philippines serving as a launch pad for U.S. and allied operations in a conflict that Beijing sees as vital to its national interests. Environmental and resource issues. Beyond geopolitics, the Philippines has challenged China over environmental damage in disputed waters. Chinese construction and dredging have destroyed coral reefs and fisheries. This undermines local livelihoods and further intensifies opposition from the Philippine government and its citizens. China's actions not only threaten sovereignty, but also daily survival for Filipino communities dependent on the sea. This has transformed the issue from an abstract border dispute into a national crisis, fueling resentment that China cannot easily erase. Diplomatic pressure on Beijing. Through international forums like ASEAN, the United Nations, and bilateral talks, the Philippines continues to challenge China diplomatically. Its legal victory in 2016 remains a rallying point. By keeping the issue alive on the global stage, the Philippines prevents China from quietly consolidating control. This constant diplomatic pressure drains Beijing's energy, forcing it to dedicate resources to countering Philippine initiatives rather than advancing unchecked. Why the Philippines is a nightmare for China. Taken together, the Philippines poses multiple layers of challenges to China. 1. Geographic blockade in the South China Sea. 2. Legal victory that delegitimizes China's maritime claims. 3. Military alliance with the United States, placing U.S. forces near China. 4. Regional partnerships that rally others against Chinese expansion. 5. Public opinion strongly against Beijing. 6. Economic independence that prevents full reliance on China. 7. Critical role in any Taiwan conflict scenario. No matter how powerful China becomes, the Philippines remains a small but significant obstacle. It forces Beijing to constantly adjust strategies, invest resources, and manage risks in ways it would rather avoid. China seeks dominance in Asia, but the Philippines has proven to be its biggest nightmare. Despite its smaller size and economy, the Philippines uses its strategic location, alliances, legal victories, and public sentiment to challenge Beijing's ambitions. In global politics, even small nations can create big problems for great powers. And as long as the Philippines continues to assert its sovereignty and strengthen its partnerships, it will remain a powerful check on China's rise in Asia.